Morning, Botai. An interesting halacha with regards to Havdalah on Motzei Shabbat. The Rambam writes that reciting Havdalah on Motzei Shabbat is a positive Torah commandment because it's a mitzvah to sanctify Shabbat on the way in, when it enters through Kiddush, and when it exits through Havdalah. There are two parts to Havdalah. There's a Havdalah in Tefillah. There's a Havdalah that we say in the Tefillah by saying Ata Chonantanu in the bracha v'tachonen, and there's a bracha on a cup. There's a bracha on a cup of wine that we say Havdalah ala kos when we get home, or in shul, whatever it is. Now, the Gemara, Masechet Berachot, Daf Lamed Gimel Amud Aleph. The Gemara says an interesting halacha. If a person prays on Motzei Shabbat, prays Arvit, and he says Atachonen, and he forgets Atachonantanu, the Gemara says there's no need to repeat the Amidah. Why? Because he is going to say Havdalah on a kos. He's going to recite Havdalah on a cup of wine. However, says the Gemara, Marav Shishat. However, if a person, let's say, Vim Ta'am Lifnei Havdalah, let's say a person both forgot Atachonantanu in Tefillah, and then also does the prohibition of eating before Havdalah. You're not allowed to eat before Havdalah. So this guy's 0 for 2 on Motzei Shabbat. No Atachonantanu, and he ate before reciting Havdalah. Then the halacha is that he'll have to go back and repeat the Amidah of Arvit and include Atachonantanu in there. For whatever reason, the Rambam omits this halacha. There's different acharonim that explain why that is. La halacha ul ma'aseh, however, Maran HaShulchan Aruch in Siman Resh Tzadidalet says this is the halacha, and therefore, if you forget Atachonantanu Motzei Shabbat, do not repeat Amidah just yet, because you have to go home. You will go home and make Havdalah ala kos. However, if you forget Atachonantanu and eat before Havdalah, then you have to go back and repeat the Amidah of Arvit with Atachonantanu. However, this is all with regards to eating. Rabotai, there's two things that you're not allowed to do before you say Havdalah. Number one is eating. Number two is working. You can't do melacha before you do Havdalah, at least Havdalah batfilah. What would be the halacha if a person, same scenario we said before, person prayed Arvit, did not say Atachonantanu, and then right afterwards, before doing Havdalah on a cup of wine, he works. Yeah? Very interesting situation. Could happen any week. Person prayed Arvit, forgot Atachonantanu, goes outside, takes his car keys, boom, turns on the car. Did melacha before Havdalah. What's the halacha over there? Do you have to repeat Amidah of Arvit for having done that? The Shulchan Aruch omits this law. Doesn't talk about melacha. He only talks about achila. Only talks about eating. Nevertheless, there's a Rashba in his Chidushim. The Rashba in his commentary on Berachot of Lamed Gimel on this Gemara, he says Meforash both cases. If you forget Atachonantanu and you eat or do melacha before reciting Havdalah on a cup of wine, you must repeat Amidah of Arvit with Atachonantanu v'chen halacha lema'aseh. And therefore, the halacha is that if you finish the Amidah, always, best case scenario, so you don't get caught in this crossfire with regards to melacha, you finish the Arvit of Motzei Shabbat. You remembered, I forgot Atachonantanu. Immediately save yourself by, before you continue, say, Baruch hamavdil ben kodesh lechol. That's also considered a form of Havdalah, in which case, even if you did melacha before reciting Havdalah ala kos, you won't have to repeat the Amidah. But if you didn't do that, you said Amidah, no Atachonantanu, no Baruch HaMavdil ben Kodesh Lechol, and you turned on your car on Motzei Shabbat before reciting Havdalah on a cup of wine, the halacha is that you must repeat Amidah of Arvit with Atachonantanu. However, because it's not clear that all of the Rishonim and Maran HaShulchan Aruch hold like this, a person should make a T'nai Nedava before. And the T'nai is, in a person's mind, you think, if I'm chayav, if I'm obligated to recite this prayer, this is a tefillat chovah, it's an obligatory prayer, and if not, it should be a voluntary prayer, and then proceed to repeat the Amidah. This time make sure to say Atachonantanu. Have a wonderful day.